Tonight's Rocky Mountain Baseball League contest is the first of a 3-game series featuring the Denver Cougars and your Hayes Larks. The Larks come into tonight's game at 26-4 on the season, and at 14-2 are the 2021 Rocky Mountain Baseball League champions. The Cougars enter tonight's contest at 9-17-1 overall, 5-10 in the RMBL. Pre-admission for tonight's games has been made possible through the generous sponsorship of the First Care Clinic and Insurance Planning Incorporated. We greatly appreciate these generous people and their support of Hayes Larks baseball. And now let's meet tonight's starters for your Hayes Larks.
Yeah, baby.
Leading off and playing center field from East Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Jimian. Batting second from the University of Texas at Arlington, the shortstop, number 3, Matt Kavanaugh. Batting third from UTA, the designated hitter, number 16, Wyatt Divis. Batting fourth for the Larks from Fort Hays State University, the right fielder, number 21, Grant Schmidt. Batting fifth, the second baseman from the University of Tennessee, number 22, Cortland Lawson. Batting sixth from the University of Sioux Falls, the first baseman, number 2, Grant Long. Tonight's A Street Liquor Beverage batter, batting seventh, the catcher from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 15, Sam Crowell. Batting eighth, playing third base from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, number 4, Palmer Hutchison. And batting ninth, the left fielder from Hayes, number 33, Dylan Dreiling. Please welcome tonight's pitcher for the Larks from the University of Nevada, number 18, Derek Decolati. And Larks fans, in his 40th season as head coach with the Larks, please welcome Mr. Frank Leo. Larks pitching coach is Keith Highfair. Assistant coach is Max McGuire.
for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 31 of the 2021 Hayes Larks season. It's game 1 of 3 against the Denver Cougars. Larks are 3-0 against this team already this season. It's Derek Decolati on the mound as his first pitch clocks in at 7:09 p.m. here in Hayes, Kansas. It's a hot night at the ballpark, one of the hottest nights we've had, pushing 94 degrees here in Hayes. So we'll see if that heat has any effect of the pitchers today. Once you're on the mound in the heat, they can get to you. Decolati, a Vegas native, and is headed to the University of Nevada. He's 0-0 on the season, is making his 4th appearance for the Larks. Was an addition to the roster about mid-season, and like I said, getting start number 1. He's thrown 4 innings this season, struck out 2 guys, allowed a walk, a hit, no runs, has a perfect ERA, and a whip of .50. 2-1 home, off speed outside, 3-1. It's one of 4 pitchers we expect to see today, along with Tyler Palmer, Trey Riggs, and Cade Brown. Cougars coming to this game, they're 9-17 overall, and 5-10 in league play. They're 5th in the league, 8 games back on a 2-game losing streak, as Decolati will walk his second batter of the season on 5 pitches. That's Braden Duhan taking first base.
The right fielder, number 3, Landon Anderson.
It will bring us to Landon Anderson. That is Duhan's 4th walk this season in 19 games. Runner at first for Landon Anderson, the right fielder. Larks sporting their white home uniforms with the white vest, blue lettering, red trim, blue sleeves. Sam Crowell is trying to throw out Duhan as he was taken off. And Duhan will be stealing second on the first pitch successfully. Larks coming to this game, they're 26-4, 13-2 in the league. They are your Rocky Mountain Baseball League champions for the 2nd consecutive season. They are 13-2 in the league on a 14-game winning streak. They haven't lost a single game in the month of July. 1-0, fouled over to the right side, 1 ball and a strike. Runner in scoring position for the Cougars. Larks 3-0 against this team, like I mentioned. They won the first game against the Cougars back in June, 10-4, won Game 2, 9-3, and then completed the sweep, winning Game 3, 16-9. Larks have faced off against the Cougars almost every season, all 3 that I've done it, and every single game against the Denver Cougars has been at home. The Cougars like to play in Larks Park. That's what they've said. It just can't beat the atmosphere in a night in Hayes, Kansas. 2-1 as this one gets away from Sam Crowell, and Keith Harper's going to want to have a chat with Derek Decolati with that runner advancing to third on the wild pitch. So while we have a second, let's check out how the Larks line up defensively. Dylan Drowling getting another start on the season. He's in left field. Jiminian back in center after having the last game off. Schmidt steady at right, just like Palmer Hutchison in the hot corner. Those two guys almost always at those spots. Kavanaugh again at short. Lawson moves from short to second base for this game. And Lung getting another start at first base. Sam Crowell behind the dish with obviously Decolati on the mound. 2-1 counts, nobody out. Runner in scoring position at third base. Larks have their defense straight up. Wind coming in from center field could have a little bit of effect on balls flowing to the deepest part of the ballpark. So Keith Harper will go back to dugouts and leave Decolati with some words of advice. Decolati, a 5'10" sophomore from South Mountain Community College, is a Vegas native, like I mentioned. Made 14 appearances at South Mountain this year, going 2-2 through 35 1/3. Gets a swing and a miss from Anderson. Good pitch, and we'll go 2-2. He's a Nevada commit and has spent 3 years at South Mountain. In his career, he's 4-4 through 33 appearances with 56 punch-outs and only 21 walks. Gets a line drive over the leaping Lung, and it'll be a RBI single for Anderson, and that brings home 2 hot. Good effort from Lung, just not much you can do about that one, and the Cougars take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
The shortstop, number 14, Keen Iwata.
For Anderson, that is his 10th RBI this season. He brings home Duhan for Duhan's 16th run scored. Just the second hit Decolati's allowed in a Larks uniform in his career. It's the first of this game. Still nobody out with that runner at first. And that'll bring Keen and Wada to the dish. Digs in the right-hander's batter's box. And this one will be another wild pitch. Sam Crowell lost it for a bit. Anderson rounds second hard, holds up, and puts himself in scoring position. He started to take off earlier on the pitch and then held up, and as soon as he saw it get away from Sam, he nabbed the second base bag. Wanted the shortstop to the dish. He's batting .361 this season with an OBP of .431. He's picked up 22 hits on his season, 19 singles, a double, 2 triples, and is looking for his first home run. Decolati looks home. He'll go from the stretch to the shortstop. And Iwata's taken one at the knees, 1 ball and a strike. Cougars have a very depleted roster. Got a lot of scratch outs. And they still have a pretty small team that they brought to Hayes today. Larks won their last game against the Rough Riders, sweeping the 4-game series against Colorado, and Derek Decolati throws his 3rd wild pitch of the inning, putting Anderson at third base. So Decolati struggling a bit with his location here in the top of the first inning. Had 7 starts at South Mountain and out of his 14 appearances this year, and has a total of 7 career starts. All came in 2021 for South Mountain Community College. Comes home for the 2-1, gets a swing and a foul ball off of Iwata, and we'll go 2-2. Iwata, a returner from the last year's squad for the Denver Cougars. The Larks getting another look at him. This one's grounded up the middle, and it's going to be an RBI single, the second straight RBI single. Those wild pitches proven costly here as that scores a second run. Anderson scores from third. Iwata picks up another RBI single. for Keen Iwata. That is RBI number 11. Anderson scores his 15th run of the season. Runner at first here with nobody out still. Derek Decolati had been lights out in his previous 3 appearances for the Larks, throwing 4 innings, only giving up 1 hit, striking out 2 guys, and only gave up 1 walk in this one. It's not looking like himself, but looked to get settled down here for the remainder of this first inning and then throughout the rest of the game. He's thrown 11 pitches and has hit the strike zone 4 times, walking 1 and allowing 2 hits. This one will catch the zone, and there is an 0-1 count. It's Brady Koenig at the plate. It's the first baseman sporting the number 11 jersey. Cougars sporting their road gray pants with the white, black, and gray camo jerseys. He swings and misses at this one, has an 0-2 count. Koenig batting .300 this season. Has 24 hits and 14 RBIs. Same crowd tries to frame the outside corner. Doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Matthew Weaver, and we'll go 1-2. Larks won their last game 12-2. Run ruling the Rough Riders in 8 innings. Game changer shows 13-2, but it should have been cut off at 12-2, as that was the run rule. Hunter Parker got the start, went 5 innings, striking out 4. And this one we're going to get a pop-up. Cortland Lawson gets under it and records out number 1 of the first. Going back to the last game, Hunter Parker in those 5 innings allowed 6 hits. He had just 2 earned runs. Then Munch came in for 2 innings, allowed no hits, no earned runs, and walked 1 guy with no strikeouts. And then Decolati came in and was supposed to throw the 8th and 9th through the top of the 8th. Through 1 inning, no hits, no walks, or strikeouts. And then the game was over before he could take the mound again for the 9th. That's the first out of the game. And we'll still have that runner at first. Decolati wants to check on him, and the throw is back in safely. That's Iwata at first base. To the plate now, Gavin Schmay, the third baseman. And lines this one at Lawson, going for 2. The throw will not be snagged by Lung. Nobody there to back up the throw, and it allows Iwata to go to second. Good reactions from Lawson and a heads-up play to go to first, just to throw a little wild, and on the E4, Iwata goes to second.
The center fielder, number 6, Jake Terwilliger.
So what a Jake Terwilliger, the center fielder. He has that runner in scoring position now. So after allowing a walk and a couple of singles, we got a pop-up to Lawson and a line-out to Lawson, and Decolati looks settled in. Nice pitch for strike 1 called against Terwilliger. Terwilliger, the 6th hitter of the inning. He's the center fielder, getting his first look at Decolati this season. Derek's pitch against Fort Collins, OKC, and the Rough Riders. Nice one on this one. Can't get the timing from Terwilliger. We'll go 0-2. Hawaii gets his lead at second base. Gavin on Lawson away from the bag. And the 0-2 home, 2 away. Swing and a miss. Jake Terwilliger will go down on strikes. Decolati, after allowing 3 straight base runners, gets 3 straight outs and strikes out his 3rd batter of the season, leaves that runner at second. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Larks look to get on the scoreboard as it's a 2-0 game here in Hays, Kansas. ready to go for the bottom of the first now as Mason Martinez takes the mound. Leo Dominion came up to the plate, and Martinez went back to his dugout, put on another sleeve. And I don't know if that was by design or if that was the umpire, because there's rules about what you can wear on the mound, saying, hey, if you're wearing one sleeve, you got to have one on the other arm. Because stuff like that can, I guess, throw off a batter. But anyway, Leo Dominion to the plate to lead it off for the Larks. He has an 0-1 count against Mark from him. And now it's in possession of Zach Henry. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Martinez, he's 1-0 on the season through 6 appearances, has thrown 26 innings. And we'll get Leo Dominion to go down looking for out number 1 at the bottom of the first. Takes us to Matt Cavanaugh.
University of Texas and Arlington, the shortstop, number 3, Matt Cavanaugh.
Martinez, a strikeout pitcher, has struck out 40 now through 26 1/3, only giving up 13 walks. But the thing for him has been the hits. Has an opponent batting average of .317, but he has an ERA just over 2 at 2.08. He's the best pitcher the Cougars have to start. He's undefeated this year, 1-0 with a whip of 1.27. This is his second look at the Larks. Cavanaugh takes this one to the first baseman, Koenig. Martinez trips coming off the mound, and will go back to the mound with another outs on the scoreboard.
The designated hitter from UTA, number 16, Wyatt Divis.
So we'll go to Wyatt Divis, the DH, on pace to break a few Larks records this season and their 75th anniversary season. This is a team that's seen guys like Lance Berkman, Jack Wilson, even one of the greatest of all time, Albert Pujols, play for the squad, and the fact that he's about to break 3 to 4 single-season records is remarkable. Davis takes strike 1 looking for Martinez. This is Martinez's fourth start of the season through 7 appearances now. He's an Amarillo, Texas native and a 2019 grad. Spent a couple years at Seward down in Liberal. Had a perfect game grade of 8.5 coming out of high school and was a top 1,000 player in the nation. 0-2 as Divis fouls this one off. Schmidt on deck with Lawson in the hole. Won't get his second strikeout of the day on this pitch. Martinez had his top fastball clocked at 87. Now, according to NCSA. And we'll throw some velocity on some of the pitches he throws today, but not on this one as it's an off-speed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Divis. This year at Seward, Martinez, 5 appearances, 4 starts, went 1-1 through 26 innings, struck out 26, and had an ERA of 3.81. And he will catch the low inside corner and take a 2-0 lead to the second inning here in Hays, Kansas. Larks trailing the Cougars at the end of the first. Dekalati back to the mound for inning number 2. His first pitch is grounded hard to Matt Kavanaugh. And a little some trouble with it was one that took a bad hop, and its scoreboard shows an E6. And so that's how things will get going here in the top of the second inning. Larks win 1-2-3 in the first. And are trailing by 2 here in the second. Struck out looking 2 times. Dekalati allowed 3 straight base runners in the first, a walk and then 2 singles. Got a pop out and a line out to Lawson, and then struck out to Rilliger to end the first inning. That was Carson Trumpold getting aboard on Kavanaugh's error, and he is aboard as the 7 hole. The 8 hole comes to the plate as Jake Caper, the catcher, has a 1-0 count against Dekalati. One good pitch. 1-0 becomes 1-1. Larks fans, be sure to follow Larks on Twitter and like the Larks on Facebook and subscribe to the Larks channel on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button while you're watching the game. It helps us out a ton as we look to our goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we can stream these games from our website, and that'll make things, we believe, much better for our fans and the fans of opposing teams. So Cougars fans, hit the subscription box as well. Helps us out a lot. We appreciate your viewership and you contributing to the Larks. 1-1 over the outside part of the plate, called strike 2. Gabe read the dish with Trumpold at first. Caper batting 179 this season through 21 games. It's one of the lower on the team for the Cougars. He'll look to change his luck here against Dekalati. The 1-2 home, and good pitch, location, and a good frame from Crowell will get Derek Dekalati his second strikeout of the game, the first one of the second. One away here as we go to the bottom of the order, Aiden Smith. Sports that number 2 jersey and gets into the right-hander's batter's box with his DH at first base. First pitch, Dekalati throwing strikes here. Gets this one at the knees over the right side of the plate. We'll go 0-1. Dekalati's now struck out 4 this season through 5 1/3. Should that runner score from first, it will not affect Derek's ERA. Pop fly over to the right side. It's going deep, but it's way out of the play. And Schmidt and Lawson will return to the right field spot and the second base spot, respectively. So we'll go 0-2. Dekalati looking for his second straight strikeouts. Comes home from the stretch. Swan a pitch to waste. He does miss outside 1-2. Duhan on deck with Anderson in the hole for the Cougars. This is game 1 of a 3-game series against the Cougars. You can catch games 2 and 3 on Larks Network tomorrow and Sunday. First pitch at 7 p.m. for both games. Fly ball into center field. Jiminian gets under it and records out number 2. So at the top of the order now.
Top of the Denver batting order is the left fielder, number 18, Braden Duhan.
Braden Duhan to the dish. He's 0 for 0 with a walk and a run scored. Scored the first run of that second inning after leading it off with a walk. It was Dekalati's second walk of the season. Dekalati comes home off speed, hangs at the waist, and then drops at the last second to the knees. It's still a called strike to Duhan. Good turnout on a Friday night for the Larks game. A few hundred fans here to take in some RMBL action as the season winds down. Larks, this is their 5th to last home game. They'll have 2 more against the Cougars tomorrow and Sunday. Have Monday off and then play the Game Day Saints on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then take their talents to the NBC in a couple of weeks to try and bring home their first NBC World Series title. 0-2 line down the left field line, and it goes foul. Got movement up in the pen for Hayes. And is Jacob Enns. Jacob pitched for the Larks last year. Is here as a fan, but joked before the game saying, "Let me throw an inning, Frank." But he's not wearing a uniform or anything, so just some guys out there having fun. We'll see how long the Larks want to take. Decolati, if he gets it out here, he will match his season high for innings pitched. He threw 2 against Fort Collins on the 11th and waited 6 days to throw an inning against the All-Stars of the Sooner State League. Then 4 days later, pitched against the Rough Riders, had 1 day of rest, and now is back on the mound today. The 1-2 home will miss inside. He gets away from Crowell. Crowell again heads to the backstop, and moving into scoring position is Trumpold. Henderson on deck with that runner in scoring position. 2-2 count. Decolati 1 strike away from ending the inning. He struck out 2 already today, 4 on the season through 5 2/3. He looks home, gets the signs from Crowell, his catcher from UTA. Nods at it, and will go home. 5-10 delivery from the stretch. A lunging swing from Duhan will send it into the fan pavilion.
Larks fans, we appreciate your assistance in shagging the foul balls and bringing them back to the Larks Nest, where you get $1 courtesy of the Hayes Police Department.
Decolati, coming out of high school, made 28 appearances in his career there, going 7-4, striking out 82 guys through 98 2/3. Was a first-team all-conference selectee and was recruited well. Was rated the 4th best shortstop in Nevada and was the 20th overall player in Nevada baseball state, especially that Vegas area. We've seen guys like Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper come out of Vegas in the past decade. So, 4th best shortstop in the state is nothing to take lightheartedly. Ground ball to Matt Kavanaugh, has no trouble with this one, throws on a hop to his buddy Long at first. And after an error to lead off the inning, Decolati gets a strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out, taking us to the bottom of the second. Hayes down 2-0 against the Cougars, looking to rally. Larks went 1-2-3 in the first against Mason Martinez. Schmidt will look to change the luck for the Hayes Larks and takes his first pitch straight up the middle. Martinez dodges it, and the Larks have their first of the day. Schmidt going to first base. Schmidt's hitting streak is now at 2 games. He had a double-digit one that was ended a few days ago. So that'll bring Cortland Lawson to the dish. Lawson, the second baseman from the University of Tennessee. Schmidt gets his lead at first. Lawson been aboard in every single game for the Larks that he's played in. He takes a hard cut at this pitch, misses it, and has an 0-1 count now. Cougars got 2 runs in the first inning. They're still up 2-0 against the Larks. Cortland in the last Larks game batted third, and he went 1 for 3, struck out a couple times, but did score a run. Went home from Martinez. We'll wait on it as Lawson steps out of the box, and Martinez signals for a new sign. Martinez stands at 6 foot flat, the Texas native going up against the Virginia native. This one off the plates. We'll go 1-1. Lawson from Potomac Falls, Virginia is a 6'2 sophomore for the Tennessee Volunteers. Batted .357 this year. Drove in a trio of runs and scored 4 times with a home run for Tennessee. Was highly recruited out of high school and is looking to continue that success in his collegiate play for the Larks. 1-2 as this one catches the zone. Gaper stands up to try and get Schmidt to go back to first base. Schmidt does have wheels. He hasn't stolen a lot of bases, but he's a guy that can kick it into another gear if the situation calls for it. He's stolen 4 bases this season in 4 attempts. The 1-2 home. Lawson takes a cut at it and heads back to dugouts. That was a great pitch for Martinez for his 3rd strikeout of the game.
The first baseman from the University of Sioux Falls, number 2, Grant Long.
That is Martinez's 42nd strikeout this season through 27 1/3, and Grant Long will step to the plate now. Green had the Larks last game up. You heard him on the booth. And on the season, he's batting .325. Sends a ground ball to the second baseman, Smith, to Iwata, to Koenig. A 4-6-3 double play will end the second inning. Through 2 innings, Larks bring 6 to the plate, get a hit, and they trail 2-0. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. Top of the 3rd, Decolati back to the mound. And there was a first pitch ball here to Landon Anderson. Anderson on the day, 1 for 1 with a single, a run scored, and a run driven in back in the 1st inning. Decolati from the windup gets a ground ball over into the Larks bench. Great night for some baseball here in Hays, Kansas, as the Larks are coming to a close on their regular season. Already secured a Rocky Mountain Baseball League championship and are looking to continue to build their resume heading into the NBC. Ground ball and an off-speed headed to Hutchison. He fields it at the letters and throws Lung off the bag. And when Lung applied the tag on Anderson, the ball popped out of his glove. Tough play right there. The throw from Hutchison a little bit off the bag, and it was enough. And it looks like wait on the scoreboard to pop up, and it is an E5. Hutchison, who's been so great defensively for the Larks, has 2 errors in his past games. In the past two errors in the past 2 games for the Larks. And he's just been a stud at the hot corner. Nothing gets past him. Rarely gets errors, and we're going to have a chat between Matthew Weaver and Anthony Perez. Frank Leo came out of the dugouts. Maybe he's probably talking about the scene if Anderson knocked the ball out of the glove of Long intentionally. Not sure what's going on, but Decolati and Crowell will chat on the mound as we look to figure things out. There's a runner at first currently with nobody out in the top of the third in a 2-0 ball game. And they will rule Anderson safe at first base, and Leo, upset with the call, will head back to the dugouts. Larks trailing against the Cougars. Team they really haven't trailed against. They've only lost 1 game against them the past 3 years in my memory. I'll check that as we head throughout the rest of this game. They're undefeated against them this season and dropped game 2 of the season in 2019 to this team. Other than that, have been lights out against the Cougars. Decolati hits the zone here against Iwata. Iwata is a Japan native, according to Perfect Game, singled in the first and then drove it in an RBI on the base hits. Brought home Anderson, who's currently at first base. Line drive to right field. If it drops, it's going to be good for extra bases, but it does drop in foul territory, so we'll go 0-2 to the shortstop. Larks against the Cougars in the first game this season. It was June 18th here at Larks Park. Won 10-4. I saw 3 hits from Lung, a couple of walks from Pearson, a couple of RBIs from Lung and Jiminian, and it was good for a Larks win. They trailed 1-0 throughout the first 4 innings. In the bottom half, the Larks scored 3 runs, and then over the course the next 4 innings, scored 8 unanswered. Denver got a trio of runs in the 8th and lost by 6. Hays had 11 hits. The Cougars had 10 and an error. Pitching that game was Martinez and Divis. Martinez picked up the loss. Divis got the win. That was a game that Martinez struck out 11 guys. 0-2 line drive again down the right field line and foul. As for game 2 against the Cougars, Larks won it 9-3, winning their 9th game of the season. In that game, Divis, Jackson, and Dreiling each had 2 hits. We saw 5 RBIs from Dreiling, 4 of them on a grand slam. Schmidt drove in a couple of runs too. The game Hays won 8-3 behind 3 innings from Velasquez and 3 from Fitzgibbons. Went to the 9th inning with a 9-2 lead. Denver got a run back. Larks led the entire way, except for the 3rd inning. They were up 1-0 heading to the 3rd. Denver scored 2 runs, but then the Larks retaliated with 6 in the 3rd inning and took a 7-2 lead into the 7th. Tacked on a couple more runs in the 7th and then got a run scored on them in the 9th. Decolati strikes out, his 3rd batter of the day, number 5 this season, through 6 1/3, and that takes us to Brady Koenig. 1-0 count with 1 away. Decolati has struck out 1 guy in every inning so far. Anderson creeps from first base with Koenig at the plate. Koenig on the day 0 for 1, popped up to Lawson for out number 1 of the 1st inning. And then checking back on Game 3 against the Cougars earlier this season, Larks won it 16-9 for their 10th win of the season out of 11 games. It was a game that Larks got the sweep. In that game, Divis 4 hits, same with Pearson. 4 RBIs from Lung, 3 from Loomis. Corey Bright went 4 2/3 on the mound. He's no longer with the team. And Larks won with 19 hits compared to the 11. They scored 6 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the fifth. Took an 11-2 lead. And, a 12-2 lead into the fifth, and then cruised the rest of the way, winning by 7. 1-2 count after a foul ball from the first baseman. And Decolati will go from the stretch. Looks over at the runner at first over his left shoulder and will deliver home. Kraus sets up down the middle. That's where the pitch goes. Koenig loses his bat. The throw down to second was a good one, but Kavanaugh can't glove it. And sliding in safely is Anderson, the second stolen base of the game for the Denver Cougars. The other one came from Duhan on the first pitch of the second at-bat. Decolati has now struck out 2 straight, 4 on the day. Gavin Schmate to the box, batting 5th in the order, the third baseman 0 for 1 with a line out to Lawson. Cougars stolen 2 bases, but they've advanced on quite a few pass balls and wild pitches so far. And Decolati wants to keep this guy at second. This one gets away from Corral, and the runner's going to be sent home from third. He chases it, and Decolati frustrated with that one, as scoring from second base is Anderson. Sam Corral just couldn't find it between his legs. He rolled all the way back to the right side of the backstop, and the Cougars now have a 3-0 lead. That is Anderson's second run scored of the day, and his 16th of the season. Seen 3 wild pitches from Decolati. Two balls, no strikes here to Schmate. Terwilliger on deck with Trumpold in the hole. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of this third inning. 7, 8, and 9 hitters at the bottom of 3 in the order. Crowell, Hutchison, and Drouling. Swing and a miss here. We'll go 2-1. Decolati sports that number 18 jersey for the Larks. He'll go from the windup, tap his foot, go home, and gets this one flown into left field. It drops in front of Drouling for a 2-out base hit. Schmay now 1 for 2, and the Cougars have their 3rd hit of the ball game. So runner at first with 2 outs for Jake Terwilliger. He struck out to end the first inning. It was an inning that the Cougars got a couple of runs. They walked once, got 2 hits in this inning. They've reached on an error and singled. So that run from Anderson won't count against the ERA of Derek Decolati. Larks so far have only brought up 6 hitters to the plate for 2 innings. That's the minimum. They have the hits, 3 strikeouts, and they also grounded into a double play. 0-1 hit hard to the shallow left part of the ballpark. Kavanaugh, Hutchison, and Drouling chase. Kavanaugh calls off Hutchison and dodges him, and a nice play from the shortstop sends us to the bottom of the third. Hayes down 3-0 against the Denver Cougars. bottom of the third. Sam Corral lead it off. The 7-hole sends a ground ball hard to Iwata. Scoops it, throws to first. The throw is going to be off the glove of Koenig. It's going to be an E6, and Corral reaches. First error of the game for the Cougars. The Larks have 3 of them. And coming in to run for Corral as catcher will be Cam Pearson. Larks get their second straight leadoff base runner. The other one was a single from Schmidt. Then Schmidt was out on a double play.
Now batting for the Larks from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, the third baseman, number 4, Palmer Hutchison.
We'll go to Palmer Hutchison. In his last game, he went 1 for 3, but scored 3 different times in the 13-2 win for the Larks. Larks scored 8 runs in the 8th inning and then ended the game there. Cam Pearson has stolen 13 bases this season in 16 attempts. Is staying at first, but won't be there for long as a line drive to left field drops. Dumont has some trouble with it. Leo's going to send Pearson home from third. He's heading to the dish and is upstanding. It's a hit for Hutchison and a run from Pearson. See if they give Hutchison the RBI based on what they get the air. They do rule it an E7. Hutchison does get a hit in the process, and Cam Pearson makes it a 3-1 ball game. They will rule a single officially. That is Hutchison's 15th single this season. Cam scores his 29th run this season. That is behind Grant Schmitz for the team lead. Pearson now tied with Divis. Runner in scoring position after the Cougars commit their second error of the game. That run from Martinez unearned. Dylan Dreiling to the dish. We're at the bottom of the order. The bottom of the 3 in the order have all gotten, bottom of 3 now looking to all get aboard after the first 2 get aboard. 1-0 here to the Hayes, Kansas native. Back-to-back Hayes natives in the lineup. Hutchison at 8 and Dreiling at 9. 1-0 home. Dreiling chops to Max McGuire in foul territory. One ball and a strike with Hutchison at second. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ground ball to the shortstop, Iwata. Hutchison goes back to second. This throw from Iwata will be good for out number 1. Hutchison staying at the 2 bag.
Top of the batting order for the Larks, the center fielder, Leo Jimmy.
That single from Hutchison put his hitting streak now at 4 games, and he's looking to score here. And he will not be credited with the RBI after the error. Leo Jiminian to the dish. This one off the glove of Caper. He rolls in front of the plate, and he looks Hutchison back to second. 1-0 count to Leo. Leo struck out looking for out number 1 at the bottom of the 1st. So going to get aboard for the first time today. Martinez looks at Hutch, comes home, ground ball over to the second baseman Smith, scooped at his chest and thrown to Koenig in time. Back-to-back ground outs to the middle infield, move Hutchison to third, but now we've got 2 outs.
The shortstop, Matt Cavanaugh.
To dish, Cavanaugh the 2-hole. Cavanaugh 0 for 1 today with a ground out to Koenig. One that he hit to the first baseman. Martinez came off the mound to cover and slipped on his way to first. First delivery home to Cavanaugh. Slider runs outside. 1-0 to the shortstop from UTA. This is Cavanaugh's 3rd year with the Larks. He's batting .333 with an OBP of .439. Ground ball to the second baseman Smith. Tosses it underhand. Larks get 2 on to start the 3rd inning, but have 3 straight ground outs to the middle infield. Hutchison drove in. Pearson doesn't get an RBI because of the error. Hutchison drove in Pearson. Pearson scored. Hutchison doesn't get the RBI because of the error. Either way, Larks cut the deficit to 2 as we move to the 4th inning here in Hayes. Top of the 4th, Dekalani back to the mound for his longest outing of the season. His longest going to this game was 2 innings and has thrown 3. This one will catch the zone 1-1. Dekalani threw 3 innings, 3 hits allowed. 3 runs have scored on him, 1 of them earned. He struck out 4 and walked 1. Swan above the letters, 2-1. Dekalani also has his season high strikeouts in this game. Larks got a hit and a run back in the last inning. Dekalani wants to keep the score at 3-1 here in the top of the 4th. The 2-2 home. Flown into right center. Jiminian sprinting. Schmidt sprinting. And Schmidt calls off Leo and records the catch. And right center. Trumple now 0 for 2 after reaching on an error and flying out now. Pitch home. It'll miss Sloan inside. Caber to the dish. He's 0 for 1 after striking out looking in the 2nd inning. Dekalani has an opponent batting average of .091. Great numbers for him. And his career at the Larks, he's led 4 runners on base. 3 of them today's game left a runner on base in each of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd innings. Had only 1 wild pitch coming to this game. Has thrown 3 of them today. He throws first pitch strikes on 71% of his pitches. Compared to today's game, when he's thrown first pitch strikes to half of his batters, has thrown strikes on 70% of his pitches. 2-0 here to Caper. From the windup, he goes, gets a fly ball to left field. Drowning comes in and drops it. Larks have their 4th error of the game. had an error in the second, an error in the third, and one in the first as well. Get their fourth in 4 innings. Larks have been so solid defensively, but just have not been themselves tonight. This is a team that has a great team fielding percentage. Errors have been the story so far. It's a team that has a team fielding percentage of .959. They only had 45 errors coming into this game through 30 games. And have 4 already today. Line drive will drop in the infield, but goes between Hutchison and Kavanaugh. Hit number 4 of the game. 2 singles in the first, 1 in the third. They get their 4th hit. It's another single from Aiden Smith. He's now 1 for 2 and sitting at first base. And he moves Caper to second. Larks are a team that have turned 27 double plays this season, looking for number 28 and getting out of the 4th inning right here. Go to the top of the order, Braden Duhan. He is 0 for 1 with a walk, a run scored and a ground out. Sends his first pitch to the backstop, 0-1. 2 on, 1 out in the top of the 4th in a 3-1 ball game. Movement up in the pen for Hayes. That is Tyler Palmer, the Nebraska Cornhusker. Takelani comes home. The fastball pops, but misses outside, 1-1. Anderson on deck with Iwata in the hole. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 4th. Davis, Schmidt, and Lawson, the DH right fielder and second baseman. 1-1 home. Fly ball to left field. Drowling moves to his right. Runner goes back to second. Drowling has an easier time with this one and records out number 2. Second fly out of the inning. 1 to Schmidt, now 1 to Drowling. Drowling had started all of his games in right field for the Larks in the past 2 years, but has started his last 2 games now in left field. We'll go to Logan Anderson. He's been aboard 2 times on a single and an error. He scored in the first and the third inning after driving in a run in the first inning. First pitch to him, swing and a miss. Good fastball from Decolati, puts himself ahead of the count. Larks got to go 5-0 for the rest of this regular season to finish their July undefeated. They had the longest hit or win streak in team history, standing at 14 games, looking for their 15th straight here. 0-2 counts. Decolati shakes off a sign from Crowell. Waits as well, gives him a nod, and will go from the stretch. Crowell sits up in the middle. 0-2 hit hard to left field. Drowling moves back. He's at the warning track, and it's over the wall. It's a 3-run home run for Landon Anderson. He's having a good day. Been aboard now 3 times, has 2 hits, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Brings home Caper and brings home Smith in that error. Looking bad right now. It's a 6-1 ball game. And never count the Larks out. He was 1 strike away from getting out. Instead, Anderson picks up his 2nd home run of the season. Picks up his 11th, 12th, 13th RBIs of the season. And scores his 3rd run of the day, his 17th this season. Caper scores his 7th run of the season. And Smith scores his 23rd of the season. That's the most on the team. Still, 6 runs have scored on Decolati, but only 1 of them have been earned after the errors. 1-1 sent to the backstop, 1-2. Suzie Wada at the dish. He singled in the first inning and then struck out swinging in the third for out number 1. The Cougars, after getting swept, having some retaliation in the second series against the Larks this season. Scored 2 in the first, 1 in the third, now 3 in the fourth after the long ball from Anderson. 1-2 home from DeCalati as this one gets sent to the backstop. That one would just a line drive to left field, scraped the top of the wall, but it was good enough. One-two, swing and miss. It's a drop, third strike. Sam Corral stands up and delivers this one to Lung for out number 3. DeCalati strikes out his 5th of the day after the Cougars gets 3 runs. Hayes trails 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th here in Hayes, Kansas. Hayes trailing by 5 against the Cougars here in the bottom of the 4th. Davis, the DH, leads it off, sends a ground ball down the first base line. A diving effort from Koenig will be enough. He tags first base himself, and a great play from the first baseman, Rams Wyatt Davis, up his first hit of the ball game. So quick, 1 out. Larks have been swinging on a lot of first pitches today. Sam Krause swung at the first pitch to lead off the 3rd, and was out on an error. Schmidt saw the first pitch of the 2nd and singled. Davis swinging at the first pitch of the 4th and is out. Brings us to Schmidt. Schmidt 1 for 1 today with a single and was out on a double play. Schmidt in his last game 2 for 4 with an RBI, and he also scored 3 runs. And home run at the top of this inning from Anderson was just the 9th home run of the season for the Denver Cougars. Larks lead the league in home runs. They have a team total of 44. Guy at the plate, Grant Schmidt, is one of the leaders for the team. He has 7, tied with Tyler Palmer. Picked up 1 home run in his last game. As a 1-2 count, Martinez delivers and strikes out another batter. Struck out 2 in the first, 1 in the 3rd, and picks up strikeout number 4 in the day here in the 4th. 2 away as we go to Cortland Lawson. Lawson on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Grant Lung on deck with Crown in the hole. Martinez in a groove today. In his last outing against the Larks, he went 6 innings in the start, picked up the loss, and allowed 10 hits and 6 earned runs, walking 4, striking out 11. Two-way on 1 counts. Nice off speed, runs outside, doesn't get a swing from Tennessee volunteer Cortland Lawson. Martinez in his last outing was against the Sox on the 18th. Went 2 innings in relief. Allowed a hit, struck out 3. As one before that against the Saints, he had a start. It was his 4th of the season. Went 6 innings and allowed 3 hits, no earned runs, walked 5, struck out 10. His longest outing this season was on the 1st, throwing 8 innings in the start. Got his first and only win of the season against the Foxes. Allowed 3 hits, no earned runs, struck out 8. 1-2 home from Martinez. Lawson swings at one, sends it hard to Schmey. He throws across the diamond for out number 3. Larks go 1-2-3 in the 4th, and Martinez faces the minimum for the 3rd time today. Larks down by 5 as we go to the 5th here in Hayes. Palmer to the mound for the 5th. Decolati goes 4 innings, has 1 earned run, 6 runs score while he's on the bump. And Palmer will replace him. Leading it off is Brady Koenig. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up. Pop out. 2-0 inside. And Palmer's thrown 3 pitches and missed the zone in all of them. This is Palmer's 4th appearance of the season. Has thrown against now 4 different teams. No starts. He did start against OKC, went 3 innings in his last outing. Picked up his 2nd win of the season. Has an ERA of 0 flats without giving up a single earned run through 8 innings, but on 5 pitches walks his 5th batter of the season. Koenig takes first. Palmer pitched for the first time for the Larks on Sunday, June 6th. It was the Larks' 3rd game of the season. He threw an inning and struck out 1, allowed 2 hits, had the bases loaded, but got out of the jam without a run scoring. Then against the Cannons, exactly a month later, came in relief in a game that the Larks were down big time. Through 4 innings, Larks came back and won it. He picked up his first win of the season. Also had 6 RBIs in that game, one of them a 3-run 3 of them a 3-run homer. Allowed 2 hits in that outing, striking out 5. Then, against OKC in his last outing, 3 innings in the starts, picked up, again, win number 2, striking out 2. He struck out 8 this season, now walked 5, and given up 5 hits. This one inside off the turf. Corral snags it, pops up, and looks Koenig back to first. 2-1 count here to Gavin Schmey. Schmay on the day 1 for 2 against Decolati with a single. Head coach Mark Cirillo, we'll get to that in a second. This one's lined to Grant Schmidt. Almost catches it, and the throw to second will be in time. What a dime from Schmidt on the frozen rope. Throw to second for outs number 1. That was a close play at second. He almost scooped it before it hit the dirt in the right field. And he allows Schmidt a single. Actually, will go down as a fielder's choice now. Koenig out. 0-1 counts. We'll check out how many assists Grant Schmidt has now on the season. Grant Schmidt, that is just his 5th outfield assist of the season. It's a big one as he prevents a runner from getting into scoring position. 1 ball and a strike here to Jake Terwilliger. Line drive will drop in left center field. Dylan Drowling gives chase. So does Jeminian. Run around second. Heads to third. Throws cut off by Kavanaugh. The throw to second. Not in time. It's a double for Jake Terwilliger. And there's 2 in scoring position with Schmay and the hot corner.
The designated hitter, number 5, Carson Trumbull.
So Palmer allows his 6th hit of the season in his 4th outing. Schmay to third. Terwilliger to second as Trumpold comes the dish. Trumpold 0 for 2 on the day. Reaching on an error and flying out to Schmitz. Line drive right to Kavanaugh, and away from the bag was Terwilliger. A mental error. He wasn't sure what to do. Kavanaugh beats him to the bag and has an unassisted double play to get Tyler Palmer out of another jam. Larks hold the Cougars scoreless for the 2nd inning today. They're down 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here on Larks Network. Larks down by 5 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Grant Lung will lead it off for the Larks. Grant on the day 0 for 1 with a double play and his first at bat to end the 2nd inning. Grant riding a 3-game hitting streak coming into this game as an 0-1 count. It's Martinez's 5th inning on the mound. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season. His 2nd pitch is chopped over the first base side. Made a play by Koenig. He tosses to Martinez for out number 1. Larks win 1-2-3 in the 4th inning, and Martinez is now retired 7 straight. So we go to Sam Crow. He's 0 for on the day. He reached on an error in the 3rd inning. Cam Harrison ran for him, and then scored the Larks' first and only run so far on the day. Martinez has now thrown 4 1/3 with 4 strikeouts. He's given up just 2 hits, and his team has 2 errors behind him. 0-1 here to Sam Crowell. Palmer Hutchison's the guy on deck with Dreiling in the hole. 0-2 to Crowell. Crowell had the last game off for the Larks and is looking to get the Larks on the scoreboard. Martinez has thrown 40 pitches today, and that one run that was scored was unearned. Hasn't walked a guy yet. Only walked 13 guys this season. His team is 9-17. 5th currently in the league. That's already been decided, 8 games back behind the Larks. Hayes has won 14 straight, longest in team history. They're undefeated in the month of July. Crowd chases one low, and it will be out on a strikeout. Martinez is 5th of the day. There's 2 away, and the base is empty for Palmer Hutchison.
The third baseman, Palmer Hutchison.
Hutchison on the day 1 for 1. He singled back in the 3rd inning that brought home Cam Pearson after an E7. And his first delivery from Martinez at the knees. So Martinez 5 innings. In his 5th inning, he's on 4 2/3 and has kept his pitch count low. That's going to be key for him as the Cougars want to ride his arm as long as they can. 0-2 to Hutch. Looking for his 2nd hit of the day. Bottom of the 5th, 6-1 ball game. Martinez will go from the windup, taps his foot, goes home. This one over the left-hander's batter's box and off caper. We'll go 1-2. Palmer this season batting .278, but has an OBP 419. And we'll take this one outside. Palmer's walked 17 times this season. That's one of the most on the team. He's sitting at tied for 3rd behind only Divis and Lawson. Larks haven't drawn a walk today. He needs 2 more balls to do it. This one will be ball number 3 as the fastball from Martinez missed inside. The Cougars start to walk off the field after every single pitch from Martinez with 2 strikes. And each time on the past 3 pitches, they had to return to their defensive spots. So Martinez gets set. Payoff pitch on its way with 2 away and the base is empty. It's an off speed. It goes outside. Hutchison chases. And Martinez's 6th strikeout of the day is Palmer Hutchison, number 45 on the season for Martinez. We go to the top of the 6th. Hayes down by 5 with Palmer going back to the mound. Top of the 6th. Tyler Palmer returns for his second inning on the mound. His first pitch is lined into right field. It's a base hit for Jake Caper. The second time he's been aboard, he's now 1 for 3. It's the first leadoff hit for the Cougars today and their third leadoff base runner. So Caper at first as we go to the bottom of the order, Aiden Smith. Smith on the day, 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout. Has a first pitch ball from Tyler Palmer. Movement in the pen for Hayes. Looks like Trey Ricks. Tyler Palmer, the Nebraska Cornhusker, comes home and catches the zone on the 1-0 delivery. Larks scored their lone run of the game in the third inning. And the Cougars have scored 3 unanswered after that 3-run home run from Anderson. This one's hit well to left field. Drowling takes a couple steps back and reels it in for out number 1. Second flyout to Dylan Drowling in the past 3 innings for Denver. One away with that runner at first. Tyler Palmer had 2 in scoring position with only 1 out in the 5th, and then got a line drive to Kavanaugh. A double play ended it as they caught Terwilliger in no man's land. 1 away, first pitch strike over the outside part of the dish, 0-1. This is Braden Duhan at the dish. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked to lead off the game and then scored. Delivery outside on this pitch. 1 ball and a strike. Due for the Larks in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dreiling, Jeminian, and Kavanaugh. Larks went 1-2-3 for their second straight inning. In the 5th, Martinez has retired 9 straight. 2-1. Henderson on deck with Iwata in the hole. Under the lights here at Larks Park in game 1 of a 3-game series. 4th pitch of the at-bat is sent to the backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Palmer, 6'1" freshman for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He's a Columbus native and redshirted this past season for UNL. Caper gets his lead at first base. Not a big one, though, with Long there to keep him honest. Palmer ignores him, goes home from the stretch. A lunging swing sends a pop fly over the left side. Hutchison sprints and slides into the wall and can't bring the ball home. It was a great effort from Hutch, but I don't think even Nolan Arenado's making that play. So Kavanaugh and Dreiling go in and check on him. And whoever's doing Palmer's laundry after the game, not going to be happy with that slide as it's covered in dirt now. Two home. Pop fly again over the left side. Hutchison gives chase. He's at the dugout wall. And it drops off the top of the dugout and rolls into the fan pavilion. Loses his hat for the second straight pitch. Collects his stuff and will go back to third. We'll stay 2-2 against Duhan. Double play on the ground could end it. Larks got an inning-ending double play in the last inning. They're looking for their second straight. To Long for 1, to Kavanaugh, back to Long, a 1-6-1 double play will end the 6th inning. Larks get their second straight inning-ending double play. We called that one, and it ends the top of the 6th. Hayes looks to rally in the bottom half, down by 5 here on Larks Network. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. Thank you for tuning in. bottom of the sixth. Ace High Indian and Dylan Dreiling will lead it off. Swings and misses at his first delivery, and he's down the count. Martinez has been in the groove, retired his last 9 after 6 groundouts and 3 strikeouts. Ground ball to the first base side. Koenig shakes it off of a chop and tosses it underhand. 10 straight now for Martinez. That's the third ground out from Koenig to Martinez, covering first in the past 3 innings. 1 away, as the Larks need to get something going if they want to keep their historic win streak alive. Jiminian to the dish now. His 8-game hitting streak in jeopardy. He's 0 for 2. His first delivery in the zone, no balls and a strike. Hayes has only 2 hits today, 1 from Schmidt, 1 from Hutchison. They've given up 4 errors and 8 hits, and that's why they're down by 5. 1-1 from Martinez. Off speed, Leo thought about turning on it, holds off. Will check down to base pass umpire Anthony Perez. He says Jiminian did not go. We'll go 2-1 here, and the bottom of the 6th. Base is empty. Martinez will get set and go from the windup. Twists his shoulders, gets his signs from Caper, and changes his timing up for this delivery, and Jiminian does not make great contact. A chop one to Smith at second, and Jiminian beats out the throw. Martinez covering, and the Larks have their first hit since the 3rd inning. Just their 3rd of the day, and Jiminian puts his hitting streak now at 9 games. So it'll take us to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh due for a hit. He's 0 for 2. That was a close play at first base. And we'll take it. Cav had the Larks last game off. He's batting .333 this season. This is his 10th game. He was a late arrival and has battled injuries in 2021. Has 11 hits, 7 singles, 3 doubles, a triple, and is looking for his first home run. His first at bat as a Lark back in 2019, he hit a home run and set the tone for his career there. He went 4 for 4 in that game. 1-0, 1 away. Jiminian gets his lead at first. It's a good one if he wants to run. Martinez looks over his shoulder, decides to go home. It's a quick pitch to keep Jiminian from running. He gives it inside, but Kavanaugh swings at it, and we'll go 1-1. Jiminian this season has stolen 16 bases in 17 attempts. He isn't running on this one. Off speed outside, 2-1. Davis on deck with Schmidt in the hole. Wyatt Davis approaching the Larks record book. And we'll get some time here from Martinez. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 away and a runner at first. Martinez looks home from the stretch. Nods his head after a while with Caper. And will go home, but not before checking over at Jiminian, who slides in headfirst safely. Hayes down by 5. Larks get one up the middle. Kavanaugh's turned quite a few double plays this season. Doesn't want to be a part of this one. It's going to be tossed from Smith to Iwata for 1. The throw to first will not be brought in. And Kavanaugh reaches on the fielder's choice, but Jiminian is out on the play. Larks just have not made great contact against Martinez. Even ones when they have good swings, it catches off the inside of their bats and goes slowly. 2 away with that runner on first for Wyatt Davis. Davis 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Outside delivery will go 1-0. Larks need to get something going here. need to get Martinez's pitch count up too, since they're struggling against him. You want to see a new pitcher. Davis throws handed but hits left-handed. Takes this one outside. 2-0 Martinez spins and taps his chest to say my bad to Caper. Go 2-0. Pitch number 3 on its way. Gavin, not really a stolen base guy. Expect to see him stay at first. 2-0 home. Davis takes it oppo and into the fan pavilion. 2-1. Martinez gets set. Behind the count. 2 balls away from a walk, 2 strikes away from a strikeout. Gets a foul ball to the backstop. Now is 1 strike away from a strikeout. He struck out 6 today so far. Has allowed just 3 hits and a run scored on him. It was unearned though. Look home and go from the stretch to Davis. Davis takes this one to left field. It's going to drop in left center. And I spoke to earlier, a great hustle from Duhan saves a run from scoring and robs Davis of extra bases. And that one's a tough run right there. Martinez pitching very well today. Takes us to the 7th inning. Hayes down by 5.
Once again, a Coleman fanny pack with him opportunity.
Trey Riggs will take the game ball from Tyler Palmer and make his 8th appearance on the mound of the season here in the top of the 7th. Leading off is Landon Anderson. He's 2 for 3 on the day with a home run, a single, and he reached on an error earlier in the game. He scored 3 runs and driven in 4. As a 1-1 count. Tyler Palmer throws 2 innings, allows a couple hits, but no runs. He left 1 guy on. This one's hit well to left. Dreiling moves back, and it's going to be the second home run of the day for Anderson. And Trey Riggs gives up his 18th earned run of the season. Anderson having a career day. That's his 4th run scored and his 5th RBI. It's now a 7-1 ball game. 4 unanswered runs, all driven in by Anderson. That's Anderson's 3rd home run of the season. Picks up his 14th RBI and scores his 18th run of the season. 0-1 home at the feet of Kane Iwata. He's 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a single. All of his previous at-bats were against Derek DeCalati. Riggs' last appearance was against OKC, where he threw an inning, gave up an earned run, allowed 2 hits, and walked 1, no strikeouts. Riggs has given up a run in every single outing this season. His 2 1/3 innings pitched, season high strikeouts at 3, and is looking to keep the score where it's at 7-1. He's a Hays, Kansas native, 1 of 3 former Hays High Indians on the roster. 1 of them a current, and Dylan Dreiling. Then him and Palmer Hutchison played together at Hays High for 4 years under Frank Leo. 3-2. Koenig on deck with Schmey in the hole. Riggs has a whip of above 4 and will look to get it down here. Strikes out his 9th batter of the season. Now there's 1 away. Riggs has spent the past 2 years at Dodge City Community College. The 6-foot freshman this spring at DC3 made 13 appearances through 18 and 2/3 innings pitched, had 1 start, struck out 15. There's 1 away for Riggsy. Base is empty. We go to Brady Koenig. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, a strikeout, and a pop-out. He's just given up 23 hits this season and has an 0-1 count. Has an opponent batting average of 500. This outside here, 1 ball, 1 strike. This has not been Riggs' season. His ERA has doubled from what it was last year after making 9 appearances and winning a game for the Larks last season, and had struck out 13 guys with a whip of 2. Pop up over the right side. One, 2, flown up the middle. That's Leo Geminian center, and it's out number 2. So we to Gavin Schmey. Schmey on the day, 1 for 3 with lineouts, reaching on an error and a single.
The third baseman, number 4, Gavin Schmey.
After a home run, we've gotten 2 straight outs from Riggs. Riggs 0-2 this season. 0-2 this season, as 1 starts and is making his 7th appearance in relief. This is the 6th team he pitches against. 0-1 counts. Here to Schmey. Schmey, the third baseman, sporting the number 4 jersey, has a 1-1 count. Riggs at Hays High was dominant under Frank Leo, was the 2019 WAC Player of the Year and a 2-time WAC Conference First Team selectee, and was a 2019 Sports in Kansas 5A First Team All-Select Team, and was an honorable mention the year before. His senior year, he went 6-2 with an ERA of 1.71 and was the dominant ace for the Hayes High Indians, not the Larks. And a year that was a great year under him and Hutchison's leadership. That team, his senior year, featured 4 Larks: Loomis, Hutchison, Riggs, and Dreiling. Riggs and Hutchison were seniors. Loomis was a junior, Dreiling a freshman. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 2 outs and the bases empty. Riggs a strike away from ending the top of the 7th and sending the Larks to the 7th inning stretch down by 6. Ground ball to Lawson. He comes in, reaches for it, and throws to long in time. We get a home run and 3 straight outs as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Hayes down 7-1 against the Denver Cougars. Bottom of the 7th, Grant Schmidt will lead it off. He has one of the Larks' 3 hits today and is swinging at the first pitch for the second time today. This one he won't get the same result and is now 1 for 3 with a single strikeout and a pop-up. That's not what you want to do when you're trying to work Martinez's pitch counts. Martinez banks him out for his 7th inning. His longest outing of the season was 8 innings against Fort Collins on the 1st of July. Picked up his first win of the season. He's just having a great performance today. His fastball will miss outside and will go 1-0 to Cortland Lawson. Through 6 1/3, he's thrown 63 pitches. He's thrown 69% strikes, given up 3 hits. A run has scored on him, but it was unearned. He struck out 6 and walked none. 1-1 count here to Lawson, the Tennessee Volunteer, versus the Seward County Saints. A 1-1, nice pitch over the outside corner. 1-2 now to Lawson. Long on deck with Crown the hole for Hayes. Under the lights here at Larks Park. Larks need to make up 6 runs to keep their game-winning streak alive. They're sitting at 14 games in a row with victories. That is the longest in team history. Larks have already won the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, so this game really won't affect them too much, but still want to win all the games that you can. Martinez pick up strikeout number 7 today. Lawson down on strikes for the second time today. Him and Divis, who have the two longest on base streak for the Larks, in jeopardy now. 2 away as we go to Grant Lung. Lung 0 for 2 in the day with a ground out and a double play. Martinez has been cruising. Sometimes you just kind of tip your cap to what the pitcher's doing on the other team. First pitch strike. That's been big for him. He started out 19 of his 23 batters with a first pitch strike. No balls, and his shrink becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. Prior to that single from Jeminian in the 6th, Martinez retired 10 straight. He's now retired 3 straight. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Lung. He's already thrown 3 1-2-3 innings, and he has a 1-2 count against Lung, who skies this one into the fan pavilion. We'll stay at 1-2. Sam Crowell on deck with Hutch in the hole. Due up for Denver in the 8th. Terwilliger, Trumple, and Caper. Martinez looks at the scoreboard, looks at his right fielder, and goes from the windup, the 1-2 home. Off speed outside. Supposed to see Cade Brown after Riggs in the game. We'll see how long the Larks want to ride Trey Riggs' right hand. Count is even, with 2 away and the base is empty. The 2-2 home. Lung drops it in left center field, but it's going to be caught by Terwilliger. That's the fourth 1-2-3 inning for Mason Martinez. He takes a 7-1 lead to the 8th inning as the Larks trail on Larks Network. Top of the 8th, Trey Riggs returns to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Jake Terwilliger will lead it off for the Denver Cougars. He is 1 for 3 on the day with a double-ish pop-up and a strikeout. Has faced all 3 pitchers today, went 1 for 1 against Tyler Palmer, 0 for 2 against Derek DeColati, and we'll see what he does with his first at-bat against Riggs. Sends his 2-0 pitch off himself, and we'll have a 2-1 count. Trumpled on deck with Caper in the hole. Big 6-foot flat. It's his 3rd year with the Larks. Appeared in 1 game against the Larks in 2019, and then pitched again in 2020. Was a full season after he only appeared in one game against the Collegians in 2019. And this will be his third year putting on a Larks uniform. 3-1 delivery, Riggs from the windup. He comes home, gets a ground ball over to the left side. Hutchison dives for it to his right, to his left actually. A little confused my directions up here. And it's a leadoff single. Third straight inning with a leadoff hit, and the fourth straight inning with a leadoff base runner. Trumbull to the plate now. He's 0 for 3 with a double play, a fly-out, and he reached on an error. Hay Brown up and moving in the pen for Hayes. Curveball hangs up, drops low, gets popped up over to the right side. Long moves into foul territory and catches it for out number 1. Trumbull now 0 for 3. One away here in the bottom of the 8th with that runner, or top of the 8th with Terwilliger at first. Caper coming to the plate. Caper on the day 1 for 3 with a single strikeout, and he scored back in the 4th inning. Looking for his second hit. Riggs looks over his shoulder and will deliver home. Off speed. Catches the zone. We'll go 0-1 here against Caper, the catcher. Smith on deck with Duhon in the hole. Check over at first one just to keep Terwilliger honest. Do for the Larks in the bottom of the 8th inning. The bottom 3, Crowell, Hutchison, and Dreiling. Defense straight up. Larks have 2 inning ending double plays defensively today. The Riggs wants to get him a ground ball and have the third one. 1 ball to strike with 1 out, and that runner at first. Scoreboard having some problems on the stream tonight. Runner takes off. Double play won't be able to happen. Sam Corral skies this one into center field way over the head of Kavanaugh, and that allows another stolen base to Terwilliger. He eliminates the double play and puts himself in scoring position. It is rolled at strike, 1-2. It was the 3rd stolen base of the game. Had to take some time to figure that one out. We'll go 2-2. Don't have a statistician up in the booth with me, so took me a second to get that one. 2-2 count, 1 away here with that runner in second. And this one's popped over the left side. Hutchison gives chase. He's at the foul wall, loses his hat again, and it drops for the kids in the fan pavilion. Stay at 2-2. Smith on deck. Smith 1 for 3 on the day. Larks' 14-game win streak in jeopardy. Two home. Riggs from the stretch. It is popped up over to the right side. Lawson moves back, makes a nice play on the run, lunges over his shoulder, and records out number 2. That's the second pop-up we've seen to Cortland Lawson today, and Caper now 1 for 4.
The second baseman, number 2, Aiden Smith.
Takes us to the bottom of the order, the last hitter of the Cougars' 4th time through the order. It's Aiden Smith. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a pair of flyouts. He also scored a run back in the 4th inning. He scored on that Anderson 3-run home run. Anderson's first of 2 home runs on the day. Taking off for a third. It won't matter as this one's ground to loss, and he scoops it at the waist and throws the lung in time. Riggs allows a hit but keeps the Cougars off the scoreboard in the 8th. We go to the bottom half. Hayes trailing by 6.
tuned in to the Larks Network.
Sam Crowell will lead things off for the bottom of the 8th against Mason Martinez for the Larks. Martinez, in his 8th inning of work, gets 3 outs here. He matches his season high for innings. Has an 0-1 count against Crowell. Crowell today 0 for 2. The Larks still working through their 3rd time through the order. Martinez just faced 3 batters over the minimum today. It's Crowell to take strike 2 looking. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. The 0-2, swing and a miss. And Martinez picks up his 8th strikeout of the day. Crowell now 0 for 3. Larks just haven't looked like themselves tonight. It's been their worst game offensively this season and defensively. They've had some bad defensive games. One against the Game Day Saints where they were down 11-1. Had like 6 errors in that game, but won 18-16 in 12 innings. This game, the Bats need to get hot. They're down to their final 4 outs after Hutchison grounds out. And Dreiling will come to the plate 0 for 2. Martinez still not even at 80 pitches. We saw one complete game from Hunter Parker for the Larks. It was 9 innings, and we saw another complete game from Jake Fitzgibbons for the Larks. But this will be the first time if they leave Martinez on the mound for the 9th that an opposing team has done it. He's been their ace all season and gets some time here. Shakes off a sign from Caper and will go from the windup. This will be huge for the Cougars if they can only use one arm today and save their arms for the next 2 games. 1-0 here to Dreiling. Cade Brown still up and moving in the pen for Hayes. One-0 at the knees, 1-1. Martinez will go from the windup. It's a fastball over the outside part of the plate. 1-2. He's just having a great day on the mound. And Dreiling needs to do something with 2 strikes on to stay from going 0 for 3. Larks just 3 hits in this game. 1 from Jiminian, 1 from Hutchison, and 1 from Schmidt. Outside will go 2-2. Two home. Martinez strikes out his 9th of the game and ends the 8th inning. Hayes trails by 6 as we go to the 9th on Larks Network. Larks bring in their fourth pitcher of the game for the ninth inning. It's Cade Brown. First pitch swinging is Braden Duhan. Sends one into left center, and it will drop between Kavanaugh, Trowling, and Jiminy, and it's off the glove of Kavanaugh, and it will be a single for Duhan. That's his first of the day. He's now 1 for 4 with a run scored and a walk. We're at the start of the 5th time through the order for the Cougars. So that'll bring up Landon Anderson, who's been the best player for the Cougars today. Has gone 3 for 4 with a single in the first. Then he reached on an air in the third. Had a 3-run home run in the fourth, and then a solo shot in the first pitch of the 7th. Has scored 4 times and driven in 5 today. It's a career day for him. 0-1 here with nobody out net. Runner at first. Iwata on deck with Koenig in the hole. Larks are 3-0 against the Cougars. They swept them in June and are in danger of losing their 5th game of the season. Larks 26-4. The Cougars 9-17. It's been an uncharacteristic night, and dugout not having fun like it normally does. It's kind of a dead night at the ballpark as Mason Martinez and the Cougars have been rolling. 2-1. Cade Brown has been the 9th inning guy for the Larks this season. There was a couple of weeks where it looked like Jose Velasquez was going to be the new closer for the Larks, and this one obviously a non-save situation, but Cade Brown returns for the 9th inning. 2 of his last 4 appearances had been starts. He's 3-0 this season, has a save, has an ERA of 2.06 with a whip under 1. Giving up just 17 hits this season, 2 walks, and struck out 37 guys. Has a full count here against Anderson. Get a payoff pitch here, home from Brown. Brown has now appeared in 6 league games and 6 non-league games. Total for 12 appearances on the season. Gets a strikeout from Anderson, and he'll be back to the dugouts on and outs for the first time this game.
The shortstop, number 14, Kane Iwata.
One away, runner at first for Kane Iwata, who was given the hat trick by Riggs and Decolati. Struck out twice against Decolati and then struck out against Riggs in the 7th. 0-1 home. Brown sends this one off the turf, and it rolls to the backstop. Sam Crowell chases it. That one just took a bad hop in front of the plate, bounced 10 feet high. Brown taps his chest, says, "My bad" to Crowell. We'll go 1-0. Larks have now thrown 5 wild pitches in this game. Just a very uncharacteristic night for the Larks. 1-0 fastball, nice pitch, 1-1. Brown, a 6'4" redshirt sophomore from the Oklahoma Sooners, is a California native. Redshirted this past spring at OU. He'll have a few years of eligibility left for the Sooners. 1-2. Talked about how Larks starter of this game, Derek DeCalati, on the mound, was from Vegas. That's where Chris Bryant's from. And Cade Brown pitched at the same school that Chris Bryant graduated. Cade Brown spent his freshman year in 2019 at San Diego, where NL MVP a few years ago, Chris Bryant went. Cade made 19 appearances there, went 2-1, striking out 18 guys through 28 2/3 as his second full count of the inning. Shakes off crowd, nods at the second one, and will go from the stretch. Payoff pitch is home, and he just misses the outside corner. Cade, not a walk guy. Walks just his third batter of the season. Cade Brown is going to be huge for the Larks in the NBC, especially with the way he throws and hits. That's just so valuable for a team in the NBC World Series, and it's going to be valuable for the Oklahoma Sooners. His school making some headlines the past few days, and has quite a few people from Kansas upset. Team wants to leave the Big 12 and join the SEC. Cade Brown obviously doesn't have a decision in that, and has a 1-0 count here. He misses outside, 2-0. Cade Brown has spent the past 2 years in Norman after transferring from San Diego. (2-0) home. Fastball below the knees, 3 balls, no strikes. Brown has thrown strikes on under 50% of his pitches today. This is a guy who throws strikes on 68% of his deliveries, walks his second straight, loads the bases. He'd only walked a couple of guys before this game, and now doubles his season total. Walked 2 guys in his past 20 1/3, and Harp's going to come out of the dugout and chat with his pitcher. One away here. Base is loaded. Chop over the right side. It rolls to Lawson. Snow cones it. Throws to Kavanaugh for 1. And a run scores in the process. Schmay reaches on a fielder's choice. Koenig is out. Duhan scores his second run of the game. Runners on the corners now with 2 away. Larks down by 7. Larks have been rolling this month. Really haven't even had that close of a game. They had one close game against Boulder going into the 5th inning, and then the 6th inning, and they ended up run rolling them. They were down heading into the 6th inning and then run rolled the team. So this is a team that really hasn't spent a lot of time trailing. This is the only game this season that they have trailed, that they haven't had a single lead in. Brown throws home. It's a fastball ground to Kavanaugh. He throws to Lawson for outs. Number 3 out in the play is Schmay, and that will leave a guy on third. Larks give up a run in the 9th inning. They were down by 7 as they look to pull off their biggest comeback in an inning in the bottom of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th. Leo Jiminian will try and start a miracle for the Larks. Returning for the 9th inning is Mason Martinez. He's thrown 8, struck out 9, giving up 3 hits in the process. No earned runs. 1 run did score on him, but it was unearned. One-0 count here to Jiminian. Jiminian 1 for 3 on the day with a single, a ground out, and a strikeout. Martinez misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. If he gets it out here, he will top his season high for innings pitched. His season high in strikeouts is 11, and he'll look to top that as well if he can strike out the side. 2 balls and a strike here to Jiminian. Kavanaugh on deck with Divis in the hole. 2-1. Martinez misses the outside corner, 3-1. Martinez has yet to walk a single guy today. He's left 2 guys on and only surrendered 3 hits. It's been the best pitching performance from an opposing pitcher the Larks have faced this season. Jiminian swings at this one and has a 3-2 count. Get a payoff pitch from Martinez. Payoff pitch will miss inside. And he smiles at the home plate umpire, Matthew Weaver. Thought he had his 10th strikeout of the day. But Martinez will go back to the mound with the runner at first. That's just the first walk he surrendered today. Jiminian walks for the 7th time this season. See if Jiminian tries to take off and give the Larks some momentum on the base paths. Appreciate you sticking with us on the Larks Network as the Larks trail. Larks are a team who carry some heavy hearts today. Luke Terbeek currently in the hospital. And I've been keeping him in my prayers. And Luke, if you're watching, just know the team's behind you, man. And talk to some of the guys before the game, and we're all behind you, dog.
Everybody clap your hands.
So that's something for the Larks to wishing for him to get back and get healthy. He's doing all right. That's why the team carries heavy hearts today. It's an accident yesterday. He's in the hospital, doing all right, though. 3-0 count here to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh on the day, 0 for 3 with a couple of ground outs, and then he reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. In the process, getting Jiminian outs. Martinez hasn't had his location in this inning like he had in the previous 8, and will walk his second straight batter. Larks trying to get some momentum rolling. And Mark Cirillo comes out of the dugouts, and Martinez tells him to stay there. So coming to the plate will be Wyatt Divis, and this is something I meant to bring up earlier, but Divis looking for some Larks records, and we'll check it out here how Vaca is closing in on one of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest season that a Lark has ever had. He is closing in on the on-base percentage record. He already has the on-base percentage record. Everything with it by an asterisk is this season's record for Vaca. He has set the on-base percentage record in 2018, then had the third best in 2020, and is looking to top both of those. Is having a ridiculous season right now. Had the third most walks back in 2018 for a single season, and is closing on a batting average record, a slugging percentage record, and then an OPS record for the Larks. This is a team that is 75 years old and has had guys like Lance Berkman, Albert Pujols, and a ton of other all-stars play for the team over the course of the past 75 years. And this is a team that has history dating back to 1869 as well. Didn't become the Larks until 75 years ago. But this is a crazy year for Wyatt Divis, and the guys on the team are in awe of what they've been witnessing. So Cirillo finishes up his meeting with Martinez and gets a first pitch strike from Martinez. Divis 0 for 3 on the day has his team leading 22-game on-base streak in jeopardy if he can't get aboard here. Kavanaugh gets aboard on a walk. Jiminian gets aboard on a walk. Larks we hadn't seen a lot of walks in this game so far as Divis ropes one to right field. It's going to drop, and Kavanaugh goes to third. Jiminian comes home. It's going to be an RBI double for Wyatt Divis, and even though it's 6 runs, don't count the Larks out. They have come back and done some crazy things this season. Divis picks up a double, puts his on-base streak at 23 games now, and brings home Jiminian, sends Kavanaugh to third, and there's 2 in scoring position. Larks get their first run since the 3rd inning. That's just their 4th hit of the day, and there's a couple guys up and moving in the pen for the Cougars. 8-2 game. Schmidt to the plate. Larks have put 3 straight aboard. For Jiminian, that is run scored number 26. And for Wyatt Divis, that is RBI number 23. 6-run deficit for Grant Schmidt. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a pop-up and a strikeouts. He put his hitting streak at 2 games after having nearly a double-digit one in the Larks last game. Had it ended, and has this one a wild pitch from Martinez. Larks starting to get something going here. It's an 8-3 ball game. One and 0 counts. Larks score Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's first run of the day. Schmidt takes this one to center field. Terwilliger moves back, and the bases will be cleared as Divis is going to tag up and make it an 8-4 ball game. So got to admire the heart of the Larks, still not giving up. Schmidt picks up an RBI. Divis scores his 30th run of the season. That's tied with Schmidt for the team lead. And Schmidt brings home his team-leading 27th RBI of the season. And there's empty bases with one away for Cortland Lawson, who's also in jeopardy of having his on-base streak ended. Had been aboard in every single game before this one and needs to do something here to get aboard against Martinez. 1-0 count here against Lawson. 1-0. This one misses outside. 2-0 to Lawson. Lawson 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a ground outs. Could we see some more Larks magic here in 2021? And the Larks rally back. 3 straight balls for Martinez. His location, the 9th inning, hasn't been his inning. He had dominated the past 8, but is missing here in the 9th. He's gone 8 1/3 and is pushing on 100 pitches. This one will catch the zone. 3-1. 2 earned runs for him. Make it 3 earned runs now. He struck out 9, giving up 2 walks. 3-1 home. Lawson swings above it. We'll have a full count. Big payoff pitch coming. Either going to have 2 outs with nobody on, or Lawson puts his on-base streak up another game, and that one a tough call from Matthew Weaver. And Martinez gets his 10th strikeout of the game. So it looks like Cortland's 17-game on-base streak will come to an end, and they're going to leave Martinez on the mound against Grant Lung. Lung on the day 0 for 3 with a double play, a ground out, and a flyout. Corral on deck with Hutch in the hole should the Larks need him. Scored 3 runs in this inning after giving up 1 in the top half. A 1-0 home to Lung, swing and a miss, 1-1. Martinez over 100 pitches now. The 1-1 home will catch the outside high corner. One-two counts against Lung. His season high in pitches is 118. He's now been above 100 pitches in 4 games. This college coach not going to be too happy about that, but he will get a ground out to the third base side. Schmay to Koenig, and the Larks lose their first game in the month of July.
The Denver Cougars 8, the Hayes Larks 4. 8 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Cougars. 4 runs, 4 hits.
Larks have only lost 1 game on the road, and they have now lost 4 at home. They fall to 26-5 on the season, 13-3 in league play, and Mason Martinez goes 9 innings, a complete game for the Seward County Saint. A great game for their pitcher, and he gets some rightful props from his team. Cougars now at 10-17 this season. They're 5th place in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Snapped their 2-game losing streak, and these 2 teams will face off 2 more times over the next 2 days. Larks' 14-game winning streak snapped. It's the longest they've ever had in team history, and it comes to a close. They're still the Rocky Mountain Baseball League champs, and unfortunately dropped this one. Just a great game for Mason Martinez. He wins his 2nd of the season, and Dave Galati loses his 1st of the season. Let's check out how the Larks' upcoming schedule looks. Larks will play tomorrow at 7 against the Cougars, then game 3 on Sunday, again at first pitch at 7. Have Monday off, and then 2 games against the Saints to close the regular season. You can catch all the games right here on Larks Network. We get RBIs for the Larks from Divis Schmidt. That's it. And then Anderson has a career day, scores 4 times, drives in 5 for the Cougars. Larks will lose this one 8-4. And we'll see you tomorrow night. First pitch at 7 p.m. against the Cougars. This has been Carson Ackerman on the call. Thank you for tuning into Larks Network.